Hi guys, welcome to the second podcast from the Part 2 Book Club. As we were fortunate enough to meet up in real life, we thought this was a great opportunity to sit down and discuss friendship, lifelong friendships, midlife friendships, evolving friendships. As we've said in the past, we are complete amateurs, so making this podcast wasn't without its technical difficulties, so please bear with us. And I know I'm biased, but I find this topic so heartwarming. I genuinely cannot wait to hear what you all think. All right, thanks guys, bye.
Everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of Part 2 Book Club. We are all here in the real, so if you are looking at us thinking we look anything but fresh, we went Too Hard Too Soon, which is our
MO.
It's our MO.
100%.
Generally
peak the night before.
Party the night before the party.
Yeah.
Yep.
And often terribly. Today's episode is going to be about friendship because we're all together. We've got a few topics. I've got a few topics jotted down in my brain box, but maybe we could start with, how did we get here, guys?
Well, once upon a time in Malaysia.
Cheers.
Oh, I'll take mine.
I'm not weak.
Once upon a time in Malaysia, Alicia and I were neighbours, and we went to the same school. And then at 13, Alicia abandoned me. And then at 14,
Actually, no,
Sarah and Zara started.
I didn't abandon you. She was shipped away.
I was forced to blame that on your
to
parents.
leave the country.
Alicia was shipped off. And then a year later, Sarah and Zara started at the same school, and Alicia just kept coming back for holidays, so we became a thing. Yeah. And here we are, 27 years after that date, and that's how we got here.
And Shans, you're the common denominator.
I'm the common
I really think we should jazz up our backstory.
The glue.
Yeah. Which is funny because I never actually went
How
to
are we
school
jazzing it?
with you and Sarah.
What have we done?
And I always say that I just tell people we went to the same school, which is funny.
We did in the same school,
But
not at the same
together,
time.
not at the same time.
That's true. I say that too.
Yeah. We just
I
went to
always
school
say
together.
it's easier.
Trying to reconnect.
Oh. Don't worry, it's just uploading. It's still
okay.
Keep that in. Keep that in.
Cool.
And we're still friends.
We're still friends.
Despite
Ups and downs though.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't like.
We've all
We didn't
fallen
like each
out
other. Remember?
at some point.
That was so long ago that I don't really
Don't
dig up the past. I don't really remember why we didn't like each other. No, I think I was jealous of
Shans, your friend.
Yeah.
Was it because of Sean?
The new friends. It's always me.
And just new friends in general.
Yeah.
And I think as well, because you went overseas.
I was going to say,
so we all put in more effort.
Yeah.
But not just that, because we never really all stayed in the same place together. Like,
Well, we've
we
never
didn't
lived in
all
the same place,
live
ever.
In the same place.
Well, apart from in Malaysia, but we've never.
But I wasn't.
Oh, well, yeah, no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
We've never all lived in the same city.
Except for the time
And
you
we
lived
lived, But as a four, we never.
in the same place.
And I think there was Canada, there's always been Birmingham.
Australia.
I think you have to put in the effort. And we did that with, I guess, the everyday. So Leon finds it really funny, and a lot of people think it's really weird that we message every single day and like multiple times and
We
voice
do,
mails
yeah.
and
Videos.
and he's
You're getting
like,
better at videos, by the way.
I'm not good on these videos.
We quite often have like 6-minute videos going, how did it get to 6 minutes? I was just coming on to tell you one thing.
Yeah. I think as well, what's my take on it is that our friendship is no holds barred, and there's nothing that is off limits. There's nothing that I certainly don't hold anything back.
I wouldn't be worried about saying something and feeling a fear of
Rejection or judgment. Or
exactly. And I think in other areas or other relationships or other parts of your life, you might
guard a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have any other friends, like apart from obviously my husband, but I don't have any other friends that I would feel as comfortable with all my TMI that I give you guys. Just general, like personal
safe
things.
space.
Yeah. I tell you guys literally everything.
Safe space, I think, is exactly what we are.
Yeah.
And also silly space, because
Yeah.
I was thinking about this morning with work, and I think at work I have to be not stupid, and I can be
Point
my
at me.
no, I
I have to
mean,
be like not stupid.
I can have fun at work, but you have there are boundaries, right?
Yeah,
There's a
You're a
a
different
level.
person, or you
And
present
you
a
are,
different. Yeah.
exactly, and there is a front or a persona you have to put on,
Of course.
and it's exhausting. Whereas you guys, it's just
Don't have to be
anything,
that
like
guy.
verbal diarrhea. And
Drop the mask.
Yes, that's the one.
exactly,
Definitely.
which I think says is really important.
It's so important to have these friendships, and like, it's sad that there are people out there that don't
Yeah,
have friendships like this, even if they've been friends for a long time or a short time, or there are a lot of people out there that don't have the kind of relationships that we have with each other. And
We're very lucky.
we are very.
I was saying that on the way up. Like you said, I don't think everyone is as lucky to have that kind of like long.
And like there's 4 of us. Like some people don't even have it with just one
I
person.
know. Yeah.
So we are incredibly lucky.
though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like
imagine.
if you couldn't. Well, it is.
Couldn't
It's
share the
really
crazy.
sad. I think it's really sad if you don't have, like, again, with Leon has Phil, his best friend, and they pretty much it is like this, but it's just one person.
Yeah.
And his other friends aren't.
I was talking to someone. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just saying, like the Walton crew.
Yeah.
It's different, but I think it's also like a community type friendship. And you've got your school friends, and
Love them.
I think you collect them along the way. But there's only ever really going to be 1 or 2 really close groups.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think that, but that's also, I think, what you need.
Yeah.
I think, like, I don't think every friendship could be like this.
No.
I think that in itself would be exhausting,
Yeah.
right? Like, how would you nurture every friendship
You can
like this one? Like, it's exhausting. So I think you do need...
exhausting.
Really,
We're exhausting.
Really.
You guys are exhausting.
But yeah.
No, I agree with you because we do put a lot of time and energy into each other.
We do.
And there are times that we take a step back and have a couple of days, and then there's always like a need of proof of life.
And there's always like, has anyone heard from Zara?
Yeah.
About Sarah?
Yeah.
Are you still alive? Are you
Yeah.
okay? Just send us proof of life. That's all we need.
We've known each other for so long, and the natural points where you went to Australia, for example, and that continued. It's like, well, why did you still invest? Why do people still invest in those?
I thought you were going to say, why did you leave us?
Well, no, yeah, why did you leave it?
I ask myself that every
But,
day.
you could have naturally just drifted off, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
anyone can, if
Yeah.
you move, anyone could naturally.
Oh, well,
drift
we
off.
have lost friends by moving.
Yeah.
Like after school and whatever, that promised to keep in touch and then just never did.
Naming no names.
Yeah.
I know
Remind
you
me.
think I'm like I mean this with all the love and respect in the world, but it is tiring. Like this friendship is tiring, right? Like it's tiring in the very, very, very best way possible, and it's exhausting in the best ways possible. And it's like a tired that I would do like 70 times a day, but like I'm on a different time zone, so you guys are waking up as I'm starting to go to sleep, and normally I'm doing bedtime and stuff. So the messages start coming. Would it be easier for me to mute the messages and just go to sleep? Would it be easier for me to just go, oh, I'll respond tomorrow, or like I'll catch up later? But life takes over, and I know that 2 days will go past, and you're still muted, and I haven't gone back, and then now I'm suddenly out of the loop. So yeah, that once Mia's gone to sleep, sitting down and picking that phone up and sifting through 167
About
literally nothing,
Yeah.
but everything at the same time.
Yeah. And then you might miss like one sentence that we refer to, and you're like, what
are they talking about?
What are you talking about?
And I'm not joking, but in the morning, so you guys have all been up or while I'm asleep, and in the morning, I don't look at my phone because I know I've got to get coffee first.
Yeah.
And like genuinely, I go downstairs,
It's like
I
emails,
make coffee, and then I'm like, right, WhatsApp, right, what are we talking about today?
This now.
And it's like, I'll look at that little notification symbol and think, okay, I got it. Like, and the worst of the mornings where you're still talking, and so I'm trying to catch up. But the point of that long ramble is,
It's easy to drift off.
it's easier.
Really.
It's way easier to drift
Yeah.
and to make it superficial
Yeah.
and to check in once in a while
Yeah.
and to do the obligatory, oh, we should
Happy
catch
birthday.
up, oh, we should talk, oh, we
Yeah.
should FaceTime. Like,
It's an investment.
It is
Hi,
a
how are
massive
you?
investment.
Good. You.
Do you do
Right.
that to people?
No, I don't really do that to people, but
How are you?
I think quite often, like when you're asked how are you, you're not necessarily like honest, are you? With
No,
like a casual
no. Oh,
friend,
no. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
saying,
fine.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
You?
I just, people don't really respond when it's like, how are you? I'm like, clinging on for dear life. How are you? And they're like, don't know what to do with that information.
Yeah.
And like,
Uh,
next.
Do you need some help?
Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you guys, you must have felt it. Like, you've had kids, you've like gone through some pretty significant like life shit.
Life stuff.
You know, you must feel the same way that sometimes you're like, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
while I
of
was
course.
doing IVF, I think I went a bit quiet on some occasions there.
No.
Yeah.
And then, but what's funny is like on the other end of the scale, when we haven't spent all night messaging, you'll suddenly send a message and go, "Is everyone okay? It's really quiet."
Yeah. Just threw me off.
Yeah.
Where is everyone?
Keep consistent.
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. You guys all right? Why no one's spoken today?
Well, I think when, like, going back to when I had the girls, I definitely remember, well, A, being exhausted, and B, just thinking it's
Too
extra.
much.
It does. It
Mhm.
requires a lot of energy to
Yeah.
just respond to anyone, let
Yeah.
alone. But then you have to, like you said, you have to, and I want to obviously
Yeah.
put in the time and then
I
be part
found,
of the
yeah.
chat.
I mean, I definitely found it harder when I had my eldest because I was the first one to have.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was going to ask you
yeah,
that question.
I was the first one to have a baby, and in a way, with all the love in the world, you guys weren't able to relate to how I was
No.
feeling in that moment, which is why my NCT friends became so important. It was definitely, I think, harder to put the effort in when you're exhausted, but you sort of like consciously try. And you obviously had
Millie.
not long after.
Yeah.
So then we kind of had that
Yeah,
in
yeah.
common, which then I think probably like deepened our friendship.
Yeah.
I think part of it for me is I feel like I have really settled into my own skin
Mm.
around 40.
Yeah.
I think my 30s was doing a lot of that settling into my own
Yeah.
and like growing into myself, who I'm supposed to be as an adult. I feel like my 30s was me really finding out who I genuinely am, because your 20s you're just a bit, you're all over the place, you don't know who you are at
Yeah.
all. My 30s was figuring it out, and now at 41 I'm really settled in my own skin. Like, I'm happy with who I am, I'm happy with what I've got, I'm happy with my life. Obviously we all want things,
Mm.
who doesn't want things, but I feel really settled in my own skin, and I think that probably, if you feel the same, has helped you be able to say,
Yeah.
this is who I am, and I'm okay with the fact that I need help,
Yeah.
and I'm okay with vocalizing that.
I think I'm actually the least settled in my own skin that I've ever been, but in the
Really?
right way.
Okay.
I had a view of what I was supposed to be.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I was a corporate ball busting, take no bullshit, boardroom, dominate, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
that's
you were.
That's
Mhm.
where I, like, and that defined me, right?
Yeah.
And then I had Mia, and all of a sudden I was like, and not even actually having Mia, it was even just a process to
The
get
decision.
and admitting to myself that there is a soft side of me that
Mhm.
I felt was missing.
Mm.
I knew it was there.
We all need a squishy center in this one.
But I think my point is that I don't know what I am.
That's okay.
I don't know.
I've got thoughts on this too.
Go.
I'm with that. Like, I thought what you're supposed to be, you know, wife, mother, friend, you know, all, you know, brother, sister, not brother for me, but, you know,
Brother.
sister, but like all of the things. As I've gotten to 40, I think I'm okay with the idea that I haven't finished growing.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Like, I haven't, and I don't necessarily know what I want to end up being, or and like it's like being uncomfortable, but being really comfortable with the fact that you're uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's the most. I'm the most free I've ever
Yeah.
felt.
As a mother, as somebody who's, you know, got a job in a corporate company, as a provider, this, that, and the other, and the expectations are so high,
Mm.
and I think you get to. I definitely have been through phases of just overwhelm. Like, so much was overwhelming me at certain points, and I think towards 40, probably the most I've ever felt, to the point where and I think I said it was because of perimenopause and, the self-diagnosis, but I think it's more than that. It's like, actually, hang on, like, I'm just going to break. I am going to burn out. This is me on the road. And I'm sure lots of people, I was like, I know I'm on the road to burnout because I'm always tired, always cranky.
I feel probably the best I've felt in my whole life, but at the same time, it's almost exciting, like what could be the next thing. Like part two.
And that's how we tie back in.
And then
It's like
good. The next chapter.
Us.
But having the friendship
yeah.
keeps me sane.
Yes.
Yeah.
Through
100%.
grounded as well.
Through all of it, like you guys are like the constant from being very young.
We've been through all of the
We have.
crappy shit, the good shit.
Man, if you think about like what we've actually gone through, not necessarily like as a friendship group, but individually what we've helped each other go through.
Yeah.
There's probably not outside of, and hopefully it's like obviously never will happen, but like outside of a divorce, like we've had a parent loss, we've had
Failed IVF.
pregnancy losses, we've had failed IVF, we've had like
Moving of country.
yeah,
A couple of times.
yes, I mean mental health
Still
issues.
bitter.
Yeah, you guys
Still
are huge
bitter.
part of it.
Still bitter that she left the country.
But I do think as well, and one of the questions I had for you guys was, when do you think like it became harder? When were like the really hard parts of our friendship?
Specifically.
And it might be different for everyone. It probably almost definitely will be. But is there ever been moments where you have thought, maybe I'll drift, maybe I'll...
No, I don't think I've ever thought I'd drift, but I think, and I've spoken to you about this, when you left, I remember sitting down with you and saying, it's not fair. Sean and Alicia have got each other. Like, you were mine. Like, I know, that's what I was thinking. I found that part really hot.
One thing that was hard for me, but I wouldn't say it's a hard part specifically of any friendship. But you guys pop out babies like bam. And of course Pete and I started trying. I came off the pill when we came back from our honeymoon, and that was nearly 10 years ago now. You came off your pill like right before your wedding and then got pregnant pretty much on your honeymoon. And then immediately when you wanted to try for the next two, bam, bam. When you tried for your second, bam. Yeah. Obviously you were a different story because you were more along my lines.
Yeah.
And then also, so Zara and I had an embryo transfer within 2 weeks of each other.
Yeah.
Zara got pregnant with Mia on that one. And of course mine didn't take. So what I found difficult was that I was so happy for you guys. And I never would have changed any of that. But it was difficult for me because it wasn't happening for me as well. And that was difficult. But I wouldn't say it was a hard part of our friendships. It was just a hard part of life.
Yeah. And I think and there's definitely I'm conscious as well with the kids and, and before Mia came along as well. And I think because we had our children, I definitely felt very conscious about, are we talking too much about the kids?
Yeah.
Is it just
Well, no, I mean, I absolutely expected, like anyone with children, you expect them to talk about their kids because it's such a big part of your life.
As we get older, I think we're more supporting each other through
Day to day.
things that we're going
definitely day-to-day period stuff. But and bigger things, like Zara having Mia, I felt like we were all part of that.
Yeah.
We were all there. We were all
I actually FaceTimed her in the hospital.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was so uncool. Like, no one wants to.
They literally just finished.
She texted me and said she'd had Mia, and I was like, can I call you? And I don't think I waited for your response.
Did you just not know how to say no?
Oh, no, I was
Okay.
And I think I FaceTimed you, burst into tears, said hi to your mum, and said, you can go now. Like, I was like, I just wanted to know you were okay.
If you could go back and tell your 18-year-old self something that would help them that you know now that you didn't know then, what would it be?
Probably start trying for a baby real young. When you still have the good egg.
actually.
Or maybe a different way to look at that would be freeze your eggs when they're young?
Nah.
No.
It's
That's a very responsible thing to do, though, to
freeze your eggs
young.
I don't
In
know, I feel
Australia,
like being
they're
a
trying
slut
to
would
make
be
it
more.
free.
I mean, it's moved on from when we were in our 20s, but back then I just don't think people
No.
would have even crossed their mind to do
No.
that. Yeah, no, I'd say don't worry so much about what other people think of you,
Yeah.
True that.
and just be your confident, lovely self. And I think do have a bit more fun. I think I was very much like a relationship person, like having one person and then being with that person in their world. And actually, in hindsight, I feel like that was a bit of a waste of life and energy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I
Sexual
think I would have had
experiences.
more
That too.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not have a. So actually, weirdly, I had this whole like a lot of people, like get married by I think 28 and have a baby.
Oh, I think I was like, get married by 25, have a baby like within a year.
Yeah,
Mm.
and
I think that was did so well.
so yeah, I don't know. I think it's just just try and just be yourself a bit more. But I think it's hard when you're that young. You don't really know who, like you said, like
Yeah, who
you are. And now it's like who, and apparently like every 7 years you change as a person. So I think when it
Yourselves,
comes
completely
to also
regenerate.
relationships,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's a fact.
well, and
Fun,
if you're
can't
changing
wait.
as a person, then your friendships are going to evolve, and
Completely.
your relationship with if you're with someone is going to change as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
That's really good advice.
Sarah.
Sarah.
I've got two.
It's okay, you can have two.
One's more sort of profound,
Okay.
Okay.
and the other one is become a geologist because you really like rocks. And the other one would probably be just, you'll be okay. Because I think there's a real, feel, maybe when you're in your early 20s, as you get, and like you were talking about, get married by 28, have a baby. Like, I certainly had that fear. Our parents' generation did this way younger than we did.
Yeah.
My mum was married at 19.
Yeah.
She had me at 24, 25. And once you sort of move past those ages, there is a bit of fear, I think, kicks in with women less so than men.
Yeah. Well, men don't have biological clocks.
Yeah.
No,
They can just
that's true.
keep going.
but yeah, that would be it. I'd just be like, don't worry, you'll be okay. Like, whatever you end up being, you'll be okay.
True.
And a geologist.
And rocks.
Huh?
Rocks.
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 You're okay.
There's always time. It's never.
There is plenty of time.
How about you, V? Your thing?
I think my thing is to talk better to myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Be kind.
spent a lot of my youth and 20s and 30s being very unkind to myself, and even just like slightly shifting perspective on things. Like I think I said in the first podcast, not everyone gets to grow old, and not everyone gets to get aches and pains and moan about their hips. And I think you spend so much of your time just like, I don't know, just being so unkind. You're the most unkind to yourself.
Everyone is that.
Everyone
Everyone's
is
great
that.
at
Yes.
Yeah. So true.
And the minute I've let go and started being kind to myself, it doesn't matter what size dress I've got on. So yeah, I'd say that. And I think it changes a lot the minute that your self-talk is positive and grateful.
Yeah.
Everything shifts around you.
Yeah.
Like, we would never talk to each other
No.
the way we talk to ourselves.
No.
So
Talk to
true.
anyone. You'd think you were disgusting.
Mhm.
And also just recently, the whole Emma Thompson stuff, you know how she's been talking about like learning to appreciate the vessel that you're in.
Yeah.
That's been quite profound with me because I've had quite a lot of body stuff, like obviously been really big and then got small and then went really big again and then got small again. And now I'm kind of, I
Finding your
actually
balance.
couldn't give a shit. I
Yeah.
actually don't care. I don't care. I don't care what I look like. I don't care how big or small I am. I want to be healthy for my daughter. That's it.
I don't know if anyone found during COVID, during lockdowns, how important friendships were. There's a couple of mums at school, and I was lucky enough that my daughter got to go back to school for 2 months or so at the back end. But seeing those women twice a day, saved me. In the female friendships, I think that I really started developing at that point, because we had, again, it's like having something maybe in common and a shared trauma. Call lockdown a shared trauma. And those friendships have strengthened and are some of the most important, relationships I have now
Yeah.
too.
I do
And they're like
sometimes,
midlife friends,
yeah.
Yeah.
I do sometimes think, and I have no scientific proof to back this up whatsoever, but that sometimes you just need to actually be physically near a woman that you trust,
Mm.
and something happens in your body physiologically, like you actually
You
start
feel
to
safe,
regulate and
yeah.
feel like calmer. My daughter, like we're obviously going through some stuff at the minute and learning a lot about like regulation, and like obviously when you have a baby, you are that regulator
Yeah.
in the early years.
Mm.
And then they sort of have to start to work out their own regulation. You start to learn all these things that kids do to manage
Yeah.
that. And I do think I think my female friends, particularly you guys, are my regulators, and
Yeah.
that actually I only need to be physically present.
Yeah. Yeah.
To feel
To
like
feel the
my
benefits.
central
Yeah.
nervous
Yeah.
system starts to calm down.
Yeah.
And even the WhatsApp messages,
Yeah.
I do feel like even that I start to calm down.
Yeah.
But
So,
it is
yeah.
something I think
Female connection.
there is the connection, and
Yeah.
it also just like you can just, I think that being yourself and just feeling like there's no guard
Yeah.
up, and you can just be
Yeah.
relaxed. Like even when at Sean's house and I first saw you on Thursday, and I just kept wanting, and I did it, and I just kept wanting to like hug Zara.
I'll you.
But
I'll hug you.
no, but I think there is something just very comforting about
Yeah.
Yeah.
being
100%.
close to.
Plus, you guys have known me so long, like,
So long.
We've known all the versions of Sarah.
no, but I think there's safety in that you guys have known me so long that, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, no.
Nobody is.
There's clearly going to be quite a lot that will happen, I think, in the next 10, 20 years.
God.
Yeah.
And we don't have to.
Death.
Yeah.
Menopause.
I was going to say death.
Wow.
Zara
went straight to
Zara.
death.
That's what I was thinking. But I was like, don't have to say it.
I'm like, oh, menopause.
It's a little death.
Little death.
Little uterus.
Uterus death.
Then you still be there.
Yeah.
When you're dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
These guys.
Who knows what the next decade's got in store for us. But
Good thing.
Menopause.
Good things.
That's what.
Lots of clubbing.
lots of
And-
clubbing.
Holidays.
Here's a segue that's seamless.
Yeah.
Books. I'll probably just leave with one thought. I just want to say thanks for being epic, amazing, wonderful friends through.
And I love you guys.
Yeah, and I love you. And I mean
Love
that in
you
like
so
a
much.
weird, creepy love way.
I love you
In a
guys
straight
in a
way.
really
Yeah.
weird way too.
No, but in like when you die, which you will, I want to
gonna
like
cry?
keep a bit of you. So yeah, that's how I love you.
I love you guys in a weird way too.
Just not that weird.
It's just not that I want to cut off bits of your body.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Hope we didn't creep you out too much.
Oh my god, it's 0% uploaded.